and welcome back to the Jenkins Art Studio. I'm Gary Jenkins, and today we're going to paint a beautiful landscape, sort of an autumn scene with lots of trees and a little path coming down with flowers. So let's take a look at the painting that I'll be working from, give you all an idea where we're going with all this. Now this has a white border on it. You don't need to put a white border. You can tint it any color you like, and we have the landscape sort of overlapping into the border area to kind of give it more of a three-dimensional look. And as we kind of come on back, as we walk down the path towards the back there, you can see all the beautiful flowers that we have, wildflowers. They could be any type of flower you want. You can use your own imagination, and today, who knows what we'll get going back there. We might have all kinds of stuff. The canvas that I have is a 16 by 20. And you could use a 16-20 or an 18 by 24, it really doesn't matter. This is a rectangle inside, and this is black. It has black acrylic on it. And I have after the black dries, I have a transparent glaze on here, which is going to help the color to flow along. You can't see it, but it's on there. Now what we're going to do first of all is come down to the palette. You can see we have all kinds of yellows and reds and oranges. We've got a little medium. We got all kinds of stuff down here. First thing we're going to do is let's take a little of this green. This is made up of yellow and black and a touch of red. And this brush here is a number 32. It's a wide brush. We're going to find our horizon line, which will probably drop down a little bit below center. Maybe we'll have a little hill there, and we'll have a little path kind of coming out. You guys take photographs, and you need to take all kinds of photos, and then take and paint your own scene. I'll show you how to approach it. Then you can use all kinds of different photographs to arrive at what you want to arrive at. Now this brush I'm using is a bristle brush, and this brush is the one that we'll use to paint all of the wonderful trees in the background. Whoa, you know what? Before we do that, I was going to put those trees in and have no sky. Ooh, that wouldn't do. Let's come down and pick up, some white down here. A little touch of medium, white. Let's put a little cerulean blue with the white. Load it up on both sides, and we'll take that up here, and we're going to have this kind of coming out from the center, coming on up, leaving the side dark, and then we'll reach a point right about there. We're going to change and come on down, because we want the sky to go into a nice kind of purpley color. So we'll take some mauve, a little touch of ultramarine blue, and sort of get a real dark mauvey purpley color. And take that up here, yes, and that's going to come right on up and blend out into nothing. And then I'm going to come on down, and as you can see me blending, it's going to get lighter, 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 lighter as it comes down. So we have a wonderful light sky going from light up to dark. Maybe the moon is just coming out. Maybe it could be a night scene, or it could be the sun is just coming up. Who knows? Maybe right in there, I'm going to take my Filbert brush. I think I'll take a little white, a little touchy yellow, and we're going to come up here, maybe right in this little dark area, and just take the brush and spin it around and get a little moon back in there. Yes. And then we're going to take a little bit of this color and kind of cover up a little of the moon. So it looks like, yes, there's some clouds covering it up. Now comes the fun part. This is the part I love. We're going to take our fan brush and come over here. This is an autumn scene. So over here I have some gray. Black and white, I mixed a gray. And then I put a little bit of sienna, a little touch of orange into it. And we're going to take this color and come on up here and kind of pat this on. This is a lighter color. This is going to help these trees to recede into the background. And we'll just get a little of that in here. I'm going to come down, pick up a little bit of the same color and go on the other side. And you'll see what this does in just a minute. Just right about in that area right in there. You see how I just sort of pat it? Maybe we'll just sort of connect the two together. Get that real pale, light color so the trees will recede. Now let's come on down and we'll pick up some Sienna, which has a touch of orange in it. And we're going to come up here, and this is when it's going to happen. Maybe we'll put a little more orange in it. Very dry. And we pat it on. It overlaps. Getting a little too, now that's a little too bright, so I'm going to put a little more Sienna in it. That'll happen sometime. And on it goes. Pat, pat. Wait, right on up. We don't care what's happening back here. It's only on the front part. All the way on up to the top. And I'm going to take, as it comes over to the dark side, we'll take our Sienna, and way over here, a touch of black, because we want this to darken up, get very dark and mysterious. And this overlaps the border. So we have a light side and a dark side. And right out into the white, still patting. Pat, pat. You can leave a few little openings here and there for the birds to fly through. Maybe a little bit on the top where it comes out a little. Still patting that same color. This is the base color. Maybe a little shot coming up here. Okay. And now we're going to jump to the other side and do the same thing. This time we'll take our Sienna. Let's put a little green with the Sienna. Play a little bit up here. Yeah. Now there's no medium. The secret here is not to use medium. You see that lighter shade back there that makes the trees recede. And this side will overlap a little. And I'm just patting it in and out, in and out. Sometimes I'll use the flat of the brush, and other times when I come out to the end, you see how I'm up on the tip. Very important, get up on the tip. And don't forget, leave a little of your sky showing. You can come out a little bit here and there. Okay, this sort of peters out. It kind of fades out into the black, way up on the top. So you really can't tell what's happening up there. Yeah? Bring that out a little more there. Now, we're going to add some color in here. Now, this doesn't say anything to you. It shouldn't say, if you had a forest and you took all the tree trunks out of a forest, you took all the limbs out of a forest, all you would have is this. You would have just color. And that's what we're putting in. So don't make the mistake of jumping in too soon and putting your tree trunks in there to say, oh, now it looks better. Stay away, because we know it'll look better when the trunks go in. So we'll leave those trunks out as long as possible. We need a little more color in there. Let's take our orange, this is autumn, and a little yellow. And again, we work very dry with no medium so that it sticks to the surface. And we play. Remember, I always tell you, play like a child plays. Very dry. As we come up to the lighter colors, don't use too much. The less you say, the better. Here we are to yellow and orange again on the other side. The less you say, the better. It picks up color down on the bottom and then sort of loses it as it comes up to the top. But over here, let's take our little yellow and black mixture. And over here, maybe it picks up a little bit of greenish. You can just barely make it out, guys. Don't get gaudy. I hate paintings, especially landscapes, where you see all this gaudy color in there. We'll save little accents for later. But we don't want any gaudiness. Now, we're not going to put our trunks in. Got a nice little moon up there. We're going to come down here with our black, yellow, touch of red. And we have a little path that's going to be right in here. And I'm still patting. See how I pat? Now I start out with a color that's fairly dark so that it'll show up our little flowers that we're going to be putting on there. And also color that recedes way into the back is a little bit darker anyway. So we pat it in. And then, as it comes into the dark, you know what we do. We're going to take some black, a little touch of sienna. Yeah, let's get a little more black in there. And pat that in. Now this can come out over the border a little too. And keep patting. Now I'm hitting it mainly on the downstroke. And as it comes down and down and down, it's going to get darker, darker. A little more black out over the border. And these are all what we would call muted tones. The tones, usually you can mute a tone one of two ways, or you can mix a little black with it, which is what I've done. Or you can take the complementing color and mix it with it, which will also mute your color. We want a nice pathway coming through, and we'll lighten this up a little, kind of wiggle the brush, kind of brush that up. To see how I brush it up to kind of give it the feeling that it's going up. Come on down, just using the tip of the brush. Leave some black showing here and there. Come on down. It's a horizontal stroke. Here we're going to brush it up. Maybe show a little grass. And coming into this area, I'm going to come down the palette. Let's pick up some of this. What is that? Mauve? Ultramarine blue. We want to make a nice dark purpley color. And up it goes. Yes. Look at that color. Look at it show up out here. And kind of mush it in. And then open it up a little bit so we see some of the black. It might be hard for you to see this down here. Some TV sets will pick it up, some won't, but it's pretty dark down there. Then we're going to come in with our green, touch of black, and just going to sort of indicate very dark. And again, it might be hard for you to see the grass. Now this is the dark side. This is the dark side. And in it goes, hitting and slowly blending away until it ends up super dark down here. We're going to take a little cerulean blue and put in here because this is super dark. We're going to open it up, yes, with a little bit of blue coming in. Just a little shot, maybe kind of pull through it a little bit. Get a little of that nice, cool color. Maybe, I see we need a little more of that light. But let's open it up. Now this is very wet, so we're working. This is truly wet into wet, guys. Woo! Yes. And get in there and just throw it in. Yes. And we'll get some of this in here. A little dark in here. I'm just taking what's there, really, and flipping up and getting some feeling of grass happening down below. Okay, now let's go in. I want this path to be a little bit lighter. So we're going to take white, because I wanted the feeling of light. Maybe the moon is shining down right in this area, and it's picking up some of that wonderful light. We'll sort of scoot that up a little there. Maybe that path comes up here a little. Who knows? It's your painting. Just play around with it and see what you get. Let's get on those trees. Oh, that's looking cool. Now we have a few little brighter accents happening before we put our tree limbs in, and I use paper towels. You'll see me all the time. I'm going to take a little yellow and orange, but this time I'm going to put a little touch of white with it because I want it a little bit brighter. I'm going to come up here and put in, yes. See? Just a little hint of where maybe that moonlight is hitting in there. Maybe some of it coming over. Isn't this a wonderful way to work? Look at the color. Love it. Maybe down in here we'll take some rose. Because this is autumn. You know how colors start to pop. We don't want to get gaudy. No gaudiness. And we're going to pop a little bit of that nice pink color. Just a hint in there. And even though during the autumn you will see wonderful bright colors, we're not going to do that. We're going to keep it rather subtle. There's something happening in there. Who knows? Now here we have what's going to be a field of flowers coming out. We're going to take our yellow and white, and we're going to pat some color on here. Now, a lot of folks ask, well, you showed us where you get your inspiration for doing flowers. Well, where do you get all your inspiration for doing landscapes? Well, Catherine and I live in a wonderful town called Ashland, Oregon. And we have a park that has a river running through it. And I go down to the park and I sit on a rock. There I am, cowboy hat and all. It looks like I'm contemplating on what to shoot there. I must have found something. Look at the water; it's rushing through there. This is snow melt. That's water is cold, and it rushes right through there, and it splashes on the rocks, and gives me all kinds of little shots. I'll take a shot of a rock with some water running through it. This could easily be a scene of a river running through it. Though right now it's a pathway. But we could easily change this, but today it's just a path. Yes, look at this. We don't even have any tree trunks in there, guys. And look how good it's looking. It's a super way to work. We want our grass to pop a little more, our flowers. So I'm going to take some white and red, make a nice pink, and get up here. And we sort of snake this through. See that? So we get a feeling, and we're going to bring it up forward a little stuff happening, maybe out on the border, who knows, a little more pink and white, and we'll go on the other side. And try not to make it both the same on both sides. And a little pink in there, maybe a shot in there. And let's come on down here before we forget to get something in here. And towards the end, what we'll do is we'll come in here and show some daisies up close. Way in the back, I still want this edge to pop more. I'm going to take our yellow and white. And very dry, when you work dry, it helps, makes the paint just stick there. That's what I want. See that sticking? And let's accent that edge coming up so it looks like a little hill shade. Maybe way down here a little bit more. Okay. Now we're going to come in and put some limbs in. We have a brush that's called a Filbert brush. Let's take a look at this one. Filbert is the brush with the rounded corners. And we're going to pick up, let's take a little black, a little red, kind of make a reddish, dark reddish color here. And we'll come back in here, and we're going to have a tree that's going to come way up to the top, way out there. Whew, that went way up there. Maybe another tree comes out here, maybe here, comes down to the front. Now you can see it's starting to make sense to you as soon as you put those trunks in. Another one here. Now this is really just sort of cutting through the paint. It's just barely there. And in a few places, you're going to come in and cover that tree up here and there. Cool. Also, we have another brush that's called a liner brush. Liner brush is the brush with the long hairs on it. And we're going to take the liner brush and pick up some white. And the liner brush, there's a little pink in it. That shouldn't matter. And put in some tree trunks way in the back, way up. Way up. You start a run and keep on going and don't stop. Because if you stop to think about what you're doing, you'll wiggle all over the place. So I put the brush and I run with it. I put the brush and I run with it. And I get my whole body in it. The whole body is up off the ground and in it goes. Now, how many trees you want in there, that's up to you. Doesn't matter, you just keep putting them in and until it looks bad. No, you stop just before it looks bad. More trunks. Yes, look at that going there. We have a big tree going in here. Better get that in there. Maybe let's take our gray color, and we're going to have a giant tree that starts right here and comes on up. Let's see, and it cuts right through all this paint and gets a little darker way on the top. We'll have a tree in there. We'll have another tree that starts about here and comes up. And then we'll take the bottom of that tree and lighten it up, or cover it up. I'm thinking ahead of myself because my brain is saying, you gotta make that tree lighter. So we'll come in here and get it a little bit lighter. Now that canvas is pretty darn wet up there and it's not wanting to lighten up, so lighten up. There's another way to get it. Okay, so not wanting to lighten up. Let's come down to the palette. Let me show you what you do to something that won't lighten up. We're gonna take our knife. Let's take some white over here and spread that white out. Take a little bit of it on the knife. We'll come up here and pick an edge and put it on and pull. Yes. Boy, we got some bright light hitting it now, guys. That's what it gets for being stubborn. And you kind of pat it to get some texture. Bring it up until it just poops out on you. And work that in. Work it in. Oh, we got some nice texture on there. Yeah. Now this is an aspen tree. So it probably would have, well, you know it would have these little dark shots on it. So we'll come up here. Boy, the knife, you can see how it made those little dark pieces on there. And you know how the aspen, the bark, peels away on it sometimes, which is what we're getting here. Some of the bark sort of peeling away. Probably had a deer in there just rubbing up against it. We have one in the back there that could use a little bit of the same texture. We'll take our knife, pick up some white, and just run it up there. Oh boy, hey, we got lucky. You never know what you're gonna get until you get in there and you try it. I'm picking up a little black. And I'm going to get a little bit of that dark that the aspens have. Yes. And let's find a limb coming out. Let's have some fun. Take our white on our liner brush. And maybe this little guy has a little branch that goes out here. You see it? You see it happen? Mm-hmm. Was my hand in the way? Sometimes it will be. You could start out here and come in. You see. Okay, don't get too carried away. Now, we have to come up front. We've got things happening up here. I probably won't get it all in for you guys, but you have much longer at home. And we'll come in here and tap it. Now, this is running into the dark, so it does get much darker down here. And what it does, it just sort of fades away into nothing. The action's all up in here, in this area. But you need a little something happening down here. Just a hint of flowers, nothing much. And we do have a blending brush. Don't forget, we'll take our blending brush and blend that out. Actually, if you just hit it on the downstroke, look at this. Look at this. Just on the downstroke, what did we just do? We just put a pool of water in there. Yes, you see, this is a little stuff. Let's bring out some highlights on that. Here, here, and here, and use our blender to come across. And we just got a pool of water right at the end of our path. Now you can come in there with our round brush to finish your painting off. We won't have time today to get all of this in for you, but you can come in here and pick out some little daisies. We do have a painting packet, and all of this information will be in there for you. So you could just get in there and daisy it up, or just leave it like it is. I think it kind of looks cool like that. Well, thanks for watching out there. And don't forget, take a walk in the park and sit next to the river and think about the flowers and stuff. Thanks for watching. God be with you, and I'll see you next time.